You want to...
GM, wake up, let's go. Web 2, Web 3, stay in the know. Action, Dabatola, Toki in the zone. Breaking down the latest, straight to your phone. From Web 2 shifts to Web the waves. News, deep dives, hot takes for days. Tech's evolving, the world's in spin. Markets move, let's lock it in. Genzio's here, no time to snooze. Tune in now, get the news. GM, wake up, let's go. Web 2, Web 3, stay in the know. GM, start the show. GM, wake up, let's go. Web 2, stay in the know. GM, start the show. GM, let's go. Web 2, stay in the know. GM, start the show.
GM. Oh, wait, hold on a second. We need to go back. We got to go back here. GM, everyone. What's going on? Welcome to our new Thursday live stream here. We have a lot to cover, as you saw, probably with the quick preview because the market's adjusting, but there's been tariff pauses. There's been tariff increase. There's lots of things going on in the market today. Markets are reacting.
Past
Twitter,
36
crazy.
hours has been insane.
It's definitely been insane. But as always, joining me here, Toki, the man. How are you doing this morning?
Doing good. Glad to be on your show after you were essentially on mine earlier. This is a nice switcheroo.
And the one thing I'll say is that we've had a very busy morning this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were up early. We had a couple spaces going on and with Genzio. So for everyone who is finding us on YouTube or on Twitter, make sure that you're resharing the stream, reposting, subscribing, liking, doing all those fun things and showing support for the stream. So now I guess one little quick info, because there's like, wait a minute, it's a Thursday and we're streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're moving on to a 5-day-a-week schedule, or as best we can to do 5 days a week. So you're going to see us on Genzio's X account every time we're live, as well as on my personal YouTube, Toki's, Actions, and we're going to have special guests throughout. And we're really going to be ramping things up a bit with that. And so we welcome all your suggestions, questions, comments. Please give us feedback. We'd love to talk with everyone out there. And we want to know what's on your mind. We're doing this stream so that for you, we could bring what information we're finding, and then there's stuff that and we'll have a discussion, and let's make some gains, let's have some fun, and let's have our finger on the pulse and be a step ahead of everyone else of what's going on.
Absolutely. And a quick GM to our guy Serenity Down Home Crypto. Thank you so much for chilling over on the YouTube channel. It's always a pleasure to see you, my man. And do you know what else is crazy right now? Do you remember those issues we were having this morning?
On Spaces?
On Spaces? Guess what? It's happening again right now.
No, is our
live isn't as live as we would hope it would be. It's apparently, if you go to the Genzio account right now, yeah, you can scroll down and you can see it, but Genzio does not appear live itself. So that happens a lot as well. Like yesterday, I saw it happening for a friend, Rico Moneybags. I knew that he was live because I saw it on YouTube. But when I was checking on my X account, he was not live, and it just said the title and a link
to the live. So it didn't show the preview or any of that. I haven't got a chance to check my account, but for those who managed to just click that link if there's no preview, we appreciate you trusting the process and joining us this morning. Now, I might be all smiles and kind of giggling or a little laughter. You know, this morning started off pretty good like that. But of course, we have a thumbnail we put out and, you know, expecting with tariffs on hold, bull, you know, maybe it's a bull. I put bull market back or bull run back on, could be a bull trap. We're not sure. And then, of course, within 20 minutes, 30 minutes of us about to go live, we see this nasty red candle from Bitcoin, and it looks like almost close to a 4K drop in the previous 24 hours. So as Toki mentioned at the very beginning, this last 36 hours or so has been rough. Now, first, I want to throw in a little bit of my 2 cents. And, you know, you see this candle and you immediately look like, why? What's causing this? We had some positive information come in just, well, in the last 24 hours, as well as some news from Powell. That was, you know, it's positive. It shouldn't do anything really harm. But the first thing I noticed is that the one country that was the exception from getting these pauses on tariffs was China. Now,
did you see all the info on that one?
Well, I think we'll get more into it, right? But it got sort of swept under the rug a little bit yesterday, I feel, and markets pumped. Everyone wanted money back. They wanted those green candles, and we got them, right? The thing is that was a tariff that was pushed to 104%, I believe, and then it was pushed up. They were talking about 125, right? And let me see if I could pull this up. But just now, within the last hour, that tariff has gone to 145%, the sharpest one yet. And I believe that this caused that candle. It lines up. I don't know. What do you think, Toki?
Literally, it's almost to a T with how well it lines up, because you can already see it doesn't look like it broached all of news, but you can see immediately where on the market they started hearing about it and how fast that spread. And then you can see on real live media where it starts to hit, and you're just like,
so 10:06 a.m. So pretty much exactly 1 hour ago, it was being tweeted out, and it was a source from CNBC. And I think that is causing another one of these days. Now, will we get some other news later on today, for example, that turns this around, and then we go back up to the 82?
So I'm not gonna lie, we got a pretty good comment. I know where you're going with this. Let the trade wars begin.
But
I'm still thinking, what are the chances that Trump's just like 400?
I thought you were going to take this the different route, because I don't want to say insider trading. I don't want to say corruption. I don't want to say all these things out loud.
I was gonna avoid that one for the first bit.
Well, I don't think it's stuff.
We're not 10 minutes in yet. I don't want to say anything too stirring.
I don't think it would get anything flagged, for example. But there was a Truth Social post and a tweet that said great time to buy, and then there was some stuff changed or whatever. But Toki, I thought you sent something, and maybe you have the link, or you have it, could pull it up on your screen if you could still find it. Wasn't there something, an article that was leading? I could have sworn you had found it, that was almost suggesting like this is just that, like everything there was just planned so that a whole circle of people could make significant financial gains.
I'm trying to find that one, because that
was sort of blame it on. And use all this other stuff as a mask for it. Now, not saying that, look, I'm not taking political sides here. I'm not saying that the tariffs are good or bad. I mean, obviously, short run, you feel it, hope it's, good. But if somebody or if multiple people, especially in the government or connected, are using us and mass markets here for gains, I mean, look how sharp the markets moved. It's it's scary times. Like it's a more manipulated cycle or time than I think I've ever seen.
I find it rather unusual how when the post went out where Trump said this is the best time to buy, as soon as that happened, it looks like bots. Like, it literally looks like bots on the market, just starting to open up calls. Like it's the degree of potential corruption there, where you know someone knew, and they knew well ahead of time.
They were waiting for it.
That's the biggest point move in history.
You know, there's definitely a lot of people that do just wait for anything that Trump or Elon would say so that they could get in early and hope to catch some sort of movement. Like I think Elon recently announced, or just, that I think they're going to take Bitcoin again for Tesla or something, I don't know if there was a tweet for it, but usually when he makes a big announcement and ties it to crypto or something, it has a positive effect. So people look for, as soon as there's that, to quickly buy and jump in. But for the way things moved and the way markets moved, it couldn't have just been, oh, he said good time to buy. And, it was like good time to buy. Then there's an announcement. There was the timing of it is
exceptional.
Exceptional. That's a better way of putting it. And I wish I fell into these coincidences or these situations like that a little bit. But here's the thing. Look, most of us, if we would have had that knowledge earlier and got in, we would have got in mid 70s, right? We would have got up to the 80s and been like, oh, we're smart, right? And then look now, we're below 80 again. I don't want to say it would have been a mini round trip. We don't know where we're going to be 6 hours, 8 hours, or a day from now. But we hope to trend up. But in the short term, we would have thought that we were geniuses, right? And then we would have went to sleep, woke up now, checked at lunch. Oh, let me check my portfolio, and been like, oh, I'm at break even from my buy yesterday. So it's who sold now off of and traded that as well. So there's a lot of things to look into this, and as much as, and I'm really like independent. I try to keep politics out of most of this stuff, but I feel like it doesn't even matter whether it's Trump's family or whoever. I feel like that if you have someone in politics or multiple people, and then they're trying to embrace a new technology and actually, adopt it in some regard or put regulation in, the greed out of some of them are going to find a way to make sure they're enriching themselves and their family and generational wealth before something's put in place that they have to stand equally in line with everyone else with the same fair shot or odds, And I'm not saying that's everyone, but if you had 100 people that have anything tied to those decisions, I would at least guess that 60% of them would find some way to enrich themselves before, putting it out there, but maybe there'll be investigations into wallets and tracking transactions and other things. And sometime down the line, we'll see this, but usually with politics, you don't really see much. It's kind of just like on to the next major news. But
here, this is the one that I wanted to show you as well, because this one, as far as major news goes, I was heavily surprised by the title. Make sure I get the right screen up. Oh, here we go. So, Trump's trade war may bring 750 billion bounty for U.S. Middle-class Americans may not have to pay income tax. Like, that's where I'm starting to be like, are you trying to tell me that all of this is to ensure? Like, yeah, this definitely feels like clickbait, but this isn't the first time that I've seen this, and it's all based around this billionaire investor right here, Chamath.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm not going to pronounce that last name, so my apologies. But he is currently backing the tariff plan that Donald Trump has. And
so he sees this as what? It's short-term pain, but the long-term move is that, middle class essentially doesn't end up paying income tax?
Yes.
Well, you know what? That would just make it. That would just make the middle class on par with the upper class and the rich businessmen, because I can't tell you how many videos I've seen of people saying they've made millions of dollars, their businesses have made millions of dollars, and then when asked how much they've paid in federal tax, it's like, oh, I paid nothing. And then it was like, oh, how much did you pay in California? They're like, oh, I paid $20,000, but that was because of I made some sort of clerical error on something stupid, but the amount they actually made in profit was closer to 10 million that year. So that would level the playing field. But how long does it take till we get to a point where you have no income tax?
I don't know on that front. I do see, but again, like, there's been multiple times where it's been like talking about Trump's tariff plans for redistributing wealth. It does feel very clickbaity. And then you also have several places being like, how much is this going to just divide the country further right now? And it's hard to argue that, yes, Trump's plans definitely divide the country, because
countries divided regardless.
We've already seen how much we've already seen what you can get away with saying on other platforms, and that's totally fine. I can now admit that I've seen it on multiple platforms, whether it's on X, whether it's on Meta, and the fact that this is something that's like so openly discussed is terrifying. Yeah, no, that's
well, free speech. Free speech is free. At what expense?
I'm not going to say anything against free speech, man. I mean, that's what lets me do this all day. That's what lets me talk to you and have the ability to live my life.
Yes, for you right now, because we are streaming on 2 platforms, and the second platform is under my name currently, not yours. So, you know, like I said, there's free speech sort of at what extent. Look at it. This is funny. Yeah. Is paying for it. Yeah. So interesting with the tariffs, everything that's going on, how the market react. This is what I need to see over the next couple days. If we don't have another tweet or some news by the president that tries to turn this into a green candle, is I feel that, Bitcoin could move 5, 10, 20K, 2K here and there or whatever, but the amount that it takes on alts keep getting more wrecked on those red candles.
Mm-hmm.
You could have huge green candle up. We did not gain all of that back to our alts, to our favorite alts. They just budged up a little bit. So,
and they're still not even in a good position right now.
We have some at all-time lows, and some that are going to get to new all-time lows if this candle goes back. If we get some more red back down to 74, for example, or 74.
I mean, if you pull the current market up, it's hard to say that we're going to be trending upwards. Like,
let's pull.
Even if you just pull Bitcoin up right now.
Yeah, I'm going to pull Bitcoin up because that's. Is this it? Here we go. Why is this? Yeah, so
like right now, that's a hard sell as far as a red line. Like
we're on that. This is the hourly. So you can see like announcement, tariff pause, a little bit push it, and then overnight, as we get to overnight, Asia, just the slow, and then whoops. China, not 104, not 125, but here we go. Here's a 145 for you. Boom. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, at the same time, you have this, it's not a huge amount, but inflation drops like 0.1%. You'd think that with everything and all these talks, that this would be going up. I honestly think if tariffs weren't paused, right, and maybe the China ones will affect this, that we'll see a few months from now different CPI data that could go back up. Now that I think could be very possible in like, I'll say a short term of like the 3 months, because you see markets react on news instantly, but then you really see how it plays out over like when people actually start feeling it, and it's more than news. So
yeah,
but this was I didn't know what to think. I just figured it's probably just be the same as usual. So this is sort of the same, but says it's says it's slowing down. Look at, even here it says, look, inflation slowing down, financial markets are acting fast. Bitcoin, which was struggling, now has surged past 82,000. But will the rally last, or is it a short-term boost?
When was this?
This
Can you zoom in on that time? 6. Oh man.
Well, when you do time difference, I think it was like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. Right? So
yeah,
this is before this at 82, knowing information's coming out, and then you have the news of the tariff goes up, and I feel it's just like, oops. So I guess, you know what? Maybe they updated their thumbnail on this to make him blue. Can I look up a token for you, Action? Probably not, because I'm now paranoid about clicking on Cloudflare, and if you give me some, or whatever it is, if you give me some really obscure token, I might not do it. Man, you know what? I want to. Hold on a second. Excuse me. No, Action, I'll probably pull it up for you in a little bit. What did you say? Trump coin keeps digging for new lows at every opportunity. Damn, we're gonna have to pull that up, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Roy, today
actually
Action
rough.
had an obligation, so he is not on stream. He decided to, I guess, pop into the chat, because you know how he loves to screw with us and
he's got to prod the bear every once in a while.
But he should be back on tomorrow, and yeah, because we're doing that 5 days a week, and tomorrow we will wrap up the week with our weekend. And Toki, you're going to be on your YouTube tomorrow too, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe that's the deal, good sir.
So there's something else that we were talking about earlier prior to this that has to do with China. And we were saying, and it's relevant, because I think besides you streaming tomorrow in the morning for GM Live, I think you're also going to do a stream, or try to do one. You were saying that you're going to be doing some gaming, right? Some live gaming, if you could get your stuff all set up.
Night, I will be live streaming a game tomorrow night as well. That's true.
So Toki's an avid gamer, huge in Web3 gaming, but would prefer that it just is gaming, called gaming.
That's so true.
Which I do too. I'm big on first-person shooters. I haven't really got into the Web3 world of that. I know there's a couple I need to mess with, but we were just talking about this earlier, and we're like, man, what's going on in the world right now? Tariffs, China, the States, all this stuff. Like, it seems like a video game, or it seems like we know this plot for some reason. We're just scratching our heads. And then we put it together. Do I even have it on here that I could show where it's from? I might have to go to another browser real quick. Hold on. Let me see if I still have. Oh, I don't think I have the tweet. Oh, wait.
I think you put it in our group chat.
Yeah, here we go. Perfect. All we need is, well, shoot. How am I going to do this? Because it's, I can't. You know what? I'll copy the first sentence into our text chat, so if anyone could read it. But the video game, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. So the storyline features a futuristic war between the United States and China, and it's sort of centered around rare earth minerals and advanced technology. So you're wondering, how do we start talking about rare earth minerals right now? Well, the other day we were talking heavily about, me and you, about semiconductors.
Indeed.
About the semiconductor market. So we will have to bring this up now. Let's go. China finds rare mineral to rival U.S. in semiconductor chip production. We are living in a simulation. It glitched Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is now what our life has become, with less weapons in regular people's hands, though, except if you're in the States. But although, look, we'll dig into this a little bit deeper for a second here, because I want to, okay, here, new deposits of high purity quartz. It plays a small but important role in the production of semiconductors and solar panels. So that's a whole nother thing. Solar panels, you know, and how EV is, and you know, even states like California requiring solar panels. But even if this is a small amount, it could put some sort of edge. So I know we kind of joke here a little bit about like, oh, this is sort of like a video game, but it's odd how you watch things like cartoons like The Simpsons. It seems like it almost predicts the future over and over and over with these ridiculous things, which we won't even pull up what it says for 2025 and the president and all that stuff this time. I don't even know if we could show it on YouTube.
I don't think so.
But this is showing where we were talking and we were posing the question about Taiwan, semiconductors, the biggest manufacturer coming into the States, us trying to ramp this up so that we could, let's say, self-sustain, and we still are a little bit behind, but China is finding ways like, oh, well, now there's minerals. So there's,
well, but then it gets weirder, because not only is it lining up exactly with the storyline, the next key portion as far as what happens in Black Ops 2 is China bans the export of rare earth minerals. And suddenly, not only are there tariffs, but there are actual bans on rare earth minerals going to the United States based around what's currently happening in today's market. You know what, Muller? Maybe we are. Maybe we are tripping.
Maybe we are. You're right, but you gotta see the. I don't want to see the irony, but you want to see the humor in. It's like for years where we said, "Oh, it's like we're becoming that movie, Idiocracy," right? And then you actually sit back and think about it, and you're like, this might become a documentary. You know, like this might be real. And you know, look, it's not too far-fetched.
President, it's not that far away.
But it's not too far off to think when they think of scenarios and plots like this for games, and it could be a coincidence, because when you're thinking of conflict, you're thinking of like how to choke off your opponent, how to take away things that they need, whether it's cyber attacks, electrical grid attacks, minerals not to be. I mean, what if back in let's just say we didn't have materials to build firearms in other wars, and stuff. It's the same thing. You take away the raw material, you can't produce the product. So it's very easily that it's a plot to a game, and also something that could happen in real life. But it's just one of these things where you play games and you're just hanging out long enough, and you're like, wait a minute, am I playing a game anymore? So.
But it does get to the point where you're now starting to wonder, like, how is this going to play into the global economy? This is a very big deal. Rare earth metals is not something that necessarily the U.S. can afford to lose, especially when we're talking so heavily about how the semiconductors is such a big deal. Like, if we're going to lose access to certain things, especially when it comes down to, again, like high purity quartz, is that something that we have enough access to already, or is that something that we're now going to be limited to? China has a massive swathe of land with basically next to no reservations about destroying it in order to get the minerals that they need out of it. I mean, as you've seen, like, their ability to produce and burn coal and not care at all how the rest of that burning coal affects the rest of the world. Well, if you think that they're going to care at this point about making sure that they get the best materials at any point in time, they're always going to be ahead of the game.
They're also pretty far, seems, ahead in like lots of engineering and and speed as far as like construction capabilities and things like that. As you know, I hate to say this, but like, you know, if tensions were to rise and you need to expand, whether it's, you know, production facilities for whatever it might be, or military facilities or any of that other stuff, if you're faster and better at engineering and have a larger workforce committed to it, you know, you're going to be that much further ahead. There's lots of things to worry about in all this. You know, this is where the sides are pretty split on tariffs, specifically with China. And is it, you know, there's several, you know, like Trump and O'Leary and those that want to play hardball side. Like O'Leary wants to play extreme hardball. I think what we heard the other day when we streamed that and listened to that, it might be a little extreme in the fact, because for somebody like him and his businesses, I feel like he's like saying, hey, you know, you get treated really bad and they take advantage or take your IP and stuff. But the reason why he does a majority of probably the production and other things in business in China is because the rate at which he can get his products done, shipped, and brought to wherever they need to is substantially different. If you know, discounted. If it was even close to being on par, and like for me, I would say, you know, saving 10% to have something done overseas to come back over here, maybe within the same time frame, would not be a huge motivating factor. And 10% is still pretty large, especially at a time like now. I would just be like, if I could do it for 10% more, I would do it here and feel the great ability to take a short flight or drive and be able to see my facilities and what's going on. So there obviously needs to be such a substantial difference in cost of labor or materials or whatnot that it makes you do business there. So
otherwise, and what's happening right now, you're going to have different companies who are going to move to the United States because they realize that the US is their biggest buyer by far. And now they're going to have to make it in the United States. It's going to have to be produced, manufactured, assembled, all of that here. They're not going to be able to afford to go to different countries and get all of those different parts and pieces. They're going to have to do it here.
And the only way you choke that off is back to Black Ops, you know, is get to the raw materials, you know? I mean, really, that would be the only way at that point, you know, once you bring a lot of that stuff back. So, you know, you could have a strong stance either way of, you know, tariffs good or bad, but these are some bold moves. And you could see just in the charts that simple one sentence saying something about a tariff could mean the difference of, well, right now, 3,500 points on Bitcoin.
Literally.
So,
literally.
But some other news that I think we knew was coming and was pretty interesting. I guess a little interesting. Was we got you know, somebody who's pro crypto, SEC chair.
Now, what do you think is going to happen with him? Do you know anything about Paul?
I don't know a lot. I know enough that I will say, okay, so I feel that the other day we talked about, it's crazy how our conversations are linking well from the other day today, specifically with what the DOJ did, right?
Oh,
that they wiped out and said, we're not going to go after this anymore like that. And then within what? I'd have to check, but I'm going to say it's within a week. It was less than that we have our new SEC chair that's pro crypto.
Do you know what, though? This isn't his first time in that seat.
Was he?
Yeah, he actually
what year?
Was. Let me check.
Pre-crypto, though.
Oh, yeah, no, he was pre-crypto, for
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. It's like when no one knew that crypto would ever exist.
He
early 2000s?
served from 2002 to 2008 is when he was last associated with the SEC.
And probably I don't remember that because I was throwing some really big rave parties then. So
yeah, he's the commissioner then. So again, like this is an interesting deal where we're having someone move back into an office where
things have changed, but
things have changed.
But the laws haven't changed since he was there last time. Before that,
since the 1930s.
Yeah, exactly. So he came in, and early 2000s is like, well, this is just what we do because this is how it's done. And now, almost 20 years later, right? Like 15 or whatever, like 15 to 20, it's all different, totally new landscape, having a whole new asset class to, I don't want to say regulate, but it's like defined. Like, look, the thing is that he's pro crypto. So right there, we'll start there. Pro crypto, make some pro crypto moves. Awesome. The other day, DOJ said, not going after people. All right. Like, I think things are getting cleared out of the way. So there's a fresh slate so that they could build something from. Now, in that time that they get ready to build something from, do we see stuff like we've seen in the charts where we think there's corruption and manipulation? Let's say it takes another year or two to get a lot of this stuff ironed out. Are we going to see politicians, random people,
dude, it's run rampant out there? What are you talking about? Are we going to see it? No, it's not.
No, we're seeing it already. We're seeing it already right now. But is everything, now that it's cleared out, they're going to take advantage of it until it's put in place? I don't know. A lot of gray area.
There is a lot of gray. I do think that we're going to see some craziness, though. I have a really, really tough time saying that there isn't going to be craziness. I mean, come on, man.
You know what's going to be crazy? Is that somebody might join our stream for the tail end of it here now and try to steal all the spotlight. But it's okay because we miss him dearly already. You see him down there? You know what the funny thing is that I don't think his camera is going to be working. Because always in the heat of the moment, he's muted, his camera's off, something's going on. He's on a space when he should be here. Like I said, he's on a space when he should be here. Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud? Oh, wait. Or it's his internet.
Actually, we have that token that we need to look up real quick. Do you mind searching this one?
Action, we know you do. Look at this. I like Roy showing up here because he remembers the stuff that are forgetful. Look at this. It could come down to his internet, or we might end up getting 280p action. So, this is great. Well, maybe Action will join us in a little bit. We'll leave it here in case he pops up and it splits the screen and parts the conversation. But no, like, so there is all this stuff that we have brought up, and usually we don't even get into market news that much. We're really getting kind of a structure going here a bit with some of this and some great conversation. But we've seen one hell of a week. And I'm wondering what's next. Do we see tariffs get pushed higher? Do we see
I expect the Chinese tariffs to go higher. On the pause side, I don't know what's going to happen with this 90-day pause. Oh, because there's going to be a lot of restructuring. When you look at
EU paused as well. They matched the pause. I don't know if we mentioned that at the beginning, but the European Union matched our pause on the taxes and all that stuff. So that
again
didn't necessarily help the charts before the China raise, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's hard because we know that so many goods are produced, shipped, made, brought through, just handled by the Chinese system in some way, shape, or form. That's just how it's been for so long. And so if you don't expect these kind of downward markets right now, it's really hard. It's really, really hard because you should be seeing it coming. You should be able to understand that that's how things are when you're going to start swacking at China with 145% tariffs.
I have the silver bullet. I think that's the expression that is going to cure everything. And we are going to see markets go up. Not financial advice at all. All right. Oh no. Dogecoin ETF application backed by Coinbase. And they're going to buy 21 shares. Sorry. I actually think this is pretty cool. But I joke. I make joke that this isn't the news that has come out now that is going to save us and the charts today. But it is just showing how ETF applications are moving forward beyond, Bitcoin, ETH, going Solana, and these bundled ones or whatnot. We are actually seeing stuff for like Dogecoin.
Do you think a Dogecoin ETF is going to help us in any way? Come on,
help us? Yeah, that's why the huge stress on not financial advice and a stress on that this is a joke. But as being a little bit older, I always play on that I'm just old. When I'm really not that old. I'm only like 60. So, but I look at
he's not 60. Trust me.
No. But I look at the generation or people like 20 or years younger than me or even more. Like let's say people like early 20s, right?
Okay.
And starting to invest. Financial, maybe they're in crypto, maybe they're self-custody, maybe they're doing ETFs or whatever. They might lean towards something like this. I think that I don't know. I think as I don't think it's
you're more likely to
needle.
get a millennial to invest in a Dogecoin ETF out of the pure meme, and they're like, my meme is now.
Yeah, but isn't that the age of millennials right now? Aren't they in their 20s?
No.
How old are they? In the 30s?
Dude, yeah.
No. What's the time span for millennials? Born in like 81 through what? 90 something?
94?
So you think and the generation after
I'm
that
a millennial. And I'm
so
in my
your
30s.
generation, and then there's what? So what's after you? Snowflakes? Is that what they're called? Is that the next one? Or is that like the bad slang?
I think that's the bad slang.
I mean, it's not like it's the bad slang. Like I guess it's the derogatory term for that generation. Sorry. That's the only one I know.
I think millennials are the same as Gen X, and so Gen Z would be after that.
So I know who's buying all these ETFs. We're gonna go right to the team chat right now, and we're gonna ask.
You know what? Let's ask the team chat.
Let's ask the team chat. The name is right after it. There we go.
Anyone?
Well, it looks like action's still there, but not there. So the likelihood of him joining is going down. It would have been fun to have action up here, see what he thinks of. He'd buy one. He's on the cusp. He's just on the cusp of. He's an older millennial. No, he's in the middle. I'm like a couple years away from millennial.
Now you're gonna make me look up what the age of a millennial is.
Yeah, look up what they're all called too, so that we just don't get. I can't even use that word. So we just can't get bad comments of us not knowing this.
Millennials are 1981 to 1996. So they range from 29 to 44.
Wow. Well, my age is revealed of what I'm not. What's after it? What's the generation after it? Sorry, we know this isn't exactly crypto, but this might be very important to your ETF strategy.
So according to this, you're part of the Gen X.
No, not go the other direction, not up.
Oh,
I know that.
It goes Gen Z then.
Is it?
Because it's X, Y, Z. Millennials are the Gen Y technically, and then it goes Gen Z, and that's 96 to 2000. Oh, what is this?
Oh, see, here it is. Look it. I knew it wasn't 11. Crazy. The term snowflake generation is often used to describe millennials and Generation Z. People born between the 80s and mid 2010s. The term generally used informally and derogatory. to imply these generations are less resilient, easily offended, and overly sensitive. Sorry, that's the only word I knew. I didn't even realize it was that, but don't worry, you guys aren't all criers and sensitive. It's okay. Only action. I could say that about him because he's not here to defend himself.
I was half expecting him to like get close to like the 50 mark
and rug us,
and then just rug us.
He still can.
I know, it's still a possibility. It's not out of the realm of question here, just so everyone's aware. We're almost at the mercy of each other in some way, shape, or form.
So are we making a truce that we don't rug each other? We just
I'm making a truce with you that I will not rug you.
Okay, and I will truce back with that, and we will properly end the stream in a little bit if action doesn't rug us both. That's only the reason why he's here. I'm about to just kick him out of the studio to ensure that it doesn't happen. I know what's going on. He's not listening, but Roy is feeding him information. Roy is probably messaging him on the side saying, "Psst, this is what they're going to do if you're not listening." It's all right, Roy. Oh, look at this. So I've been seeing a lot of this lately too. Cade for the win. Let's go. Have you seen that?
Cade?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
This is with their gaming. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Just because I know coin market cap right away. Oh, Medicaid.
Yeah.
Oh, who doesn't need Medicaid?
Well, that's why I was gonna pull it up because that's why I
like
saw
Medicare.
It there. Yes, you eventually. Let me pull this too.
I'm sorry. I just missed it.
Yeah, no. So, home of gaming and AI and base. No, this is. I know a few people that are working with them, and I've heard a lot about it. It's cool to see it brought up in our stream in the.
Hold on, man.
In the comments.
Do you see that symbol?
What?
See that symbol on, like in the middle of the token?
Oh no.
What's that look like to you?
Oh, shoot. It's not.
What does that look like to you?
I don't want to say because I don't want to draw the attention to. Hold on. How do I look in a different browser? All right, that's it. We're closing this down for a second. No. It's nothing bad. It's nothing really that bad. It's
in my mind,
it doesn't. It doesn't. Never mind. For a second, I was going to say, does that sort of look like the controller on your new logo? That's why I didn't want to say it, but it doesn't at all. So you're good.
No, even better. It looks like two chickens kissing.
Oh yeah. It does look like. So
I wasn't gonna say something else, but you're right. Actually, I could totally have it pass for 2 ocarinas of time. You know.
So this is this is what it is. You got your baby boomers, your Gen X, your millennials, or Gen Y, Gen Z, and Generation Alpha.
Wait.
No, they got no.
They're just starting over.
No, they can't put Alpha in there. Like they got some like privileged information or something. Like no, they can't. This isn't right. Why can't they just call it, like,
you know what's even worse? Because
now Generation AI or something.
Any kid born in 2024 and 2025, they're all betas.
Oh,
such a harsh way to start your life.
Pretty much. So, overall today, market.
What's the sentiment? Is it feeling more like a greed? Is it feeling like a fear day because of all the red? I feel like it's more on the fear side.
Yeah, but well, somehow have this pulled up too already. Fear and greed. 39, but you know what? This was lower. Like wasn't this like in the 20s?
Like a week or two ago?
Maybe even like
maybe even Monday.
Yeah, maybe exactly. So I'm
actually
not sure.
Monday was pretty scary. You're not wrong.
I should have kept a better eye, but it jumped up a little bit, but overall with the candle just recently, I'm surprised it hasn't readjusted, but it still has 5 more hours. So if we see the market now get into, low 80s, stay like 80 to 8,500, 81, then I don't see that moving much. And this is just some, quick news volatility, and I think the result is we'll be choppy and sideways a little bit longer if there isn't much change to news or tariff news, especially with CPI essentially not really being much of anything. I was really hoping, and I think we've said this a few weeks ago in the streams, if you guys have been with us for a while, I was really hoping that as we start approaching truly like April, mid-April, and especially into May, that we would see some decent or significant uptrend here with Bitcoin and push our way back up to, I'd like to say, like, 100K, or even maybe towards that all-time high that Bitcoin was at. My worry is that we get closer, that we get into May. There's still this stuff going on with tariffs and the back and forth with lots of countries and lots of volatility, that we don't see us get up there. And then we get into the summer, which are generally a little bit slower. Does it set us up for a huge fall? I think last bull run, we saw altcoins towards the end there in the fall have like that 60-day period where, I mean, it was just crazy. And then then immediately went into like the bear market.
It was like an only up kind of 60 days. It was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if that's what ends up happening. I have a really strong feeling that if we're like we are now and we're in the summer, that our hope and our sentiment is going to be that we're going to get that fall boom, and that the cycle is not going to have been too altered from previous cycles. But big money is in. The president, you never know what he's going to do. Look what's going on now. Things are just getting started. We're not even out of the first 100 days, I think, of the presidency, where that's where a lot of the big shots are taken. I do still have strong conviction in the long term, and I tend to shake this off, but I feel the cycle is changing a little bit. Less speculation, more revenue based, and obviously heavy influenced by the people who are making the regulations or tied to them.
And you know what? Bitcoin will still continue to have black swan events, and we need to understand that they're going to happen. It feels like an inevitable point of Bitcoin.
But there's one thing you got to admit: when you see big red days like this, altcoins, or you look at your alt bags or some of your wallets, or you kind of wish that when you got into crypto initially that you just stayed, because you probably pretty much had Bitcoin probably early on, right? Probably just wish you'd been like, I should have just been a Bitcoin maxi. Because even with all this stuff, and you see people hitting crazy licks on meme coins, and look at this P&L, and you're like, and then you start dabbling, you're like, I'm going to get in early on these L1s, I'm going to get early on this project, and you're waiting through a whole cycle.
People used to hit block like crazy back in the day.
Exactly. So if I would have held it, or even if I would have just, you know what, I'm just going to DCA into Bitcoin this entire time. Right now, the way the market is and the way it's been behaving, would have been much further ahead. Not sad, I mean, I think the alts that I have are going to have their day. It's just going to be a different time, and I have to manage a lot more and keep my eye on a lot more, because you step away when you have a lot of different bags or lots of different alts, and something changes. Next thing you come back and you're like, you lost all of it because like it forked or they airdropped or something went wrong, or there's just something. You're like, wait, I missed a cutoff date. Like, you have to be active on all those projects. If you have a few bigger or mid caps or Bitcoin that you're just DCAing into it, you're essentially like, don't have to have your finger on the pulse. It's more like purchase or set it and forget it. So some days I wish I just stuck to Bitcoin, but then I'd be so bored. I wouldn't be here now. I wouldn't be having awesome streams with you, Action, and meeting so many amazing people. And that is
I'd be on your own
priceless.
personal yacht somewhere, sailing around the world. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, but it's no fun by yourself. And
you're
like,
right. You'd probably have like 20 people that you hired from the Caribbean to help you.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be true friends. You know what I mean? Like, I
No, I
want
do.
people that I want people that came from the trenches with me, that we were, we were staying in an Airbnb,
we just want to get out of the trenches
dinner together. We were grinding at the events. We were having fun. And when some of these bags hit, we're definitely going to enjoy not just the company that we spend with all the great people we meet in the space, but we'll also get to enjoy some of those other things that might have been out of reach before. And for a lot of us, it's not about getting a Lambo or doing this. It's providing better for your family, or if you have kids, providing better for them, or if you're self-employed, medical insurance in this country, in the United States, costs a ton. So there's things that we're all looking to get out of this and making it. It's not about that get rich thing, but if we support each other, help each other out, I think, we'll find our way together and we'll have fun doing it. And that's priceless to me. I think that actual money comes with the hard work and the good bonds and friendships and good intentions.
Oh, absolutely. Especially, we all learn from each other on the day-to-day. That's been key in all of this. I know that there's between the stuff that I've learned from you and also from Action, I know that I wouldn't be where I am today without it. Like,
it's so hard to retain it all. That's the thing. You like hop in a few different spaces each day, do a couple streams, then you get a couple curveball like questions in the chat that you're like, wait a minute. You start thinking, and like I sign off of here, and then like during my lunch, I'm like looking some stuff up. Like, wait a minute, like there's always something new and exciting, and I do my best at trying to retain it, and I try to do my best to retain it and then share it so that others around me,
like, I love our daily chat. The amount of stuff that we get to like send back and forth between each other is perfect, because now I know maybe what we're going to be talking about during even one of these lives, or maybe it's like, now we know we definitely should not talk about during one of these lives.
well, soon, I think, coming up, because I have one, it's just not out there. I think like we'll do like a GM live kind of public telegram, and maybe all the reoccurring people that come to the stream could have a place to go as well. So they're not just posting comments on our Twitter posts to ask us for, questions or to get involved, but that we could actually interact with more people that are in the community and hanging out with us, because we go to a lot of conferences. And I always say, if you're heading out to one of these events, side events, meetups, wherever, and that, you see that we're going to be out there, or we mention it, like, shoot us a message. Like, we love to meet up with the community. We're part of the community, we just happen to just turn on the camera and try to BS and have some fun with you. So, yeah, that's all I got today. And Action's still down there and hasn't rugged us. Should I remove him so he doesn't rug you?
I mean,
I could edit his name and then bring him on stage.
That would be funny. I do know we have some upcoming meetings, especially at the top of the hour, so I do want to make sure and be respectful of that. At least I know I've been told I do now.
Oh, I see. Let me check my calendar for
that's fair.
For what has just changed. Wait a minute. Today's the what? The 10th? Right?
Yeah, today's the 10th. I did no check.
Yo, so you mean the meeting that we're supposed to be in right now?
No, I have
another meeting. So you're missing the meeting right now, like
yes, apparently I have missed a meeting. But now I have another one.
But you have to get to the next one. All right. So see, that's how much we love doing this, and we love all of you and hanging out with the community, having fun. Is that Action misses it? We're missing meetings. You do all sorts of stuff, but we had to stay on schedule. We had to let you know what's going on, and we hope that we see some rebound in the market there, because I know green puts a smile on everyone's faces. Probably had a good time to DCA the other day, but thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, comment, post, reach out to us. We are very accessible, and we love to just hang out with the community. So yeah, that's all I got.
And
what about you,
be ready for some guests. You see what happens.
That's right. We are going to be setting up some guests coming up. But I guess until next time, we'll see you tomorrow. That's the next time.
Indeed, sir. See you tomorrow.
All right. Take it easy, everyone.
Hey, what's up?
But it's not something Genzio is afraid of.
If you want to survive, you got to build a hive.
No, we do not understand. Ladies and gentlemen.
We're back at the Genzio Media House.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us today.